starting a cleaning business from scratch in another country. What do you need to know? We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by Savvy Cleaner Training, and we have a lot of the basics that help build the foundation of the business wherever you live. There are a lot of common things that are the same. There are a few things that are different. But the common things that are the same will help you grow and expand your business. So check it out at savvycleaner.com. All right, on to today's show. We have a house cleaner that called in and asked this question.
Hi, Angela. I'm thinking and remembering you from Ireland. Just to ask you one funny question. I'm ready in every way to start my small cleaning company, and I was so encouraged by all your videos and whatever information I got from your side. But the thing now, I'm really stuck to think about how and who can help me to do my paperwork once I need them. I mean, the agreement, the company's rules, regulations, and sometime time to time, the employees' paperwork, who should be done, my accountant, or I should have somebody to do all this. If let's say I have to get someone, or I have to have someone to do this, I do not have any experience how to do the paperwork, So if you have anybody or if advice on this, please, thank you very much.
All right, I'm super excited about this question because you are starting a business in Ireland. Now, I'm in the United States, and so there's a lot that is different between where you live and where I live, but a lot of the things are the same. One of the things that is the same that I'm really excited about is the Small Business Administration in Ireland. Now, lots of governments, depending on where you live and depending on the country you live in, they have something similar, as they do in the United States. It's a Small Business Administration, and it is designed for entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. Okay, so in America, and it's probably a little bit different, but a lot the same, they have a program in America called SCORE. And what it is a bunch of business owners, either active business owners or retired business owners, who are willing to volunteer their time, and they are willing to help with things like, how do you find somebody to do your paperwork? Or how do you find somebody to put together a business plan? Or how do you find somebody to help you get a business loan? Then the government has all these different programs where they bring together entrepreneurs for networking events. And they say, here, share with each other what you do and how you can help each other. And so they might partner, for example, a carpet cleaner with a house cleaner. And they serve the same client, although their businesses are slightly different. So in that group, what you might have is a window washer, a painter, a carpet cleaner, a house cleaner, maybe somebody that does things like home delivery for grocery shopping, or maybe they do pet sitting. None of those businesses compete with each other, and yet they all share the same client base. So what happens is you're working in a customer's home. Let's say that you're a window washer, and the person says, wow, I really need to get my house clean. Do you know anyone? And you say, oh yes, there's someone from my networking group. And so then you recommend the people that you know, and they recommend you. And so it's a great way to network and collaborate. The goal of the Small Business Administration is to help the entrepreneurs that are starting their businesses. And so they oftentimes have free classes and courses that are generic enough that all the businesses can participate. So for example, it might be on how to set up a business website. And they might bring in somebody that is with a particular company or a hosting company, or somebody that can help you register your domain names or any of those things. And so there are basics that are going to be across the board pretty much the same. Regardless of where you live, there are basics that you must do if you're going to run a business. Now, we live in an online world of technology, and so pretty much wherever you go, other than a few remote areas where it is all word of mouth and everyone knows each other, it's going to be based online. People are going to go online looking for you and your social proof and your ratings and reviews. And so there are things that are true for everyone, like you want to have an online presence. You want to make sure that the profile picture of you on your social media looks like the person that's coming to the house to clean. And so there are things like that if you're no good at it, there are people that are inside your own community that can help you set that up. Now, some of them are going to be interns, and some of them may be school students. Some of them may be existing business owners that have already jumped through those hoops. Now, I know that when I got started in my business, and this is pivoting my business back in 2016, there was a couple of things that I didn't know. And so what I did was I asked other people, I said, hey, you've registered domain names before and you redirected the DNS. And what that is instead of it pointing to one server, it points to another hosting company over here. But I didn't know how to do that. And so there are questions that you have, but you don't know what the terms are. You don't know to say, I need someone that can help me redirect a DNS because you don't even know what the terms are, right? But talking to the people at the Small Business Administration will guide you down that path. And they'll say, hey, I have a friend that works in computers and websites. He knows what that is. Then you make a quick phone call and they tell you those terms so that then you can find what you're looking for. Also, another great place for information if you're just starting is YouTube. And I know that on a global scale, you can reach YouTube in most countries, but it gives you a wide variety of how-to. And so I often search a term, and it might not be the right term that I'm looking for, but YouTube keeps suggesting things. I know one time when we started our YouTube show, I was trying to figure out how do you fix a shaky camera? And I kept typing in shaky camera, and it would say, did you mean this? Did you mean this? What I stumbled on is a term called warped image stabilization. I would never have searched for that in a million years, but that's exactly what I was looking for. And so once you start asking questions and you start watching a video or two, you'll say, no, that's not quite what I'm looking for, but I'm close. And it will help you narrow down the search so you can find exactly what you're looking for. All right, another tip for starting a small business in Ireland or in any country is what I call now and later information. And so what do you need to know now that you need to implement immediately? And then what do you need to know later? So I have two massive checklists that even now in my business I use. And so as I go through my day-to-day basis, someone recommends a book to me. Oh, have you read this book? It's a really great book. And I think to myself, do I need that information today, or is that something I need at another time? And so I'll put it on my later list because I don't need it today, but I do want to read it sometime in the future. And so at any time, if I've run out of things on this list, I just look over here and I say, is any of this, does it apply to me now? Now, I remember one time I was trying to cobble together some information and I didn't really know how to do it, but I knew how I wanted to do it. How I wanted to do it is jump on the computer, open up a document, click on something, and I wanted to show you the process of how to do that. All right, so what I needed was a program called Camtasia, and it was about $100, and it was really expensive, and there was going to be a learning curve for me. So my first question was, is this now or later? I could use it now, but I could use it later. If I were going to not use it now, how would I do that? Well, I would take a snapshot of this screen. I would go into something like PicMonkey, and I would draw a little circle around the place where you click. And then I would type in the instructions on click here to make this happen, right? So there are other ways to still get the same result. I woke up one day, and the amount of information that I needed to share would have been easier on Camtasia. And I stood there and I said, you know what? Today's the day. And I didn't have the time, but I knew it would take me far less time to just do a deep dive in and learn all the software and how the Camtasia works than to keep making excuses and doing it the other way. And so I bought the software, I sat and I watched all the YouTube videos on how to do it, and now it is a go-to because once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. And so now there are multiple times where if I'm on the phone with tech support and I'm trying to explain what's happening, I'm like, give me 30 seconds, I'll send you a video. So I open up the screen, I go this, and this, and I'm talking at the same time. When I click on this doesn't happen, I need this to happen. What do I do next? And I hit send and it sends them the video. And then they can watch it and go, oh, I see exactly what you're trying to do, right? So now it's quicker and it's easier for me to use the Camtasia. So as you start your house cleaning business, there are things that you don't know yet, and there are things you don't know you need to know. But connecting with the local group, and it's a group of similar people, they're going to have the same similar things. Like all the people in your business, in your area, whether they're a carpet cleaner or a window washer or a house cleaner or any of those people, they all run into the same things like, how do I advertise my business? How do I do a Facebook ad? How do I put together a website? How do I find a bookkeeper that can do the accounting for my small business? And because you may not have enough business for one person to work full time, what could happen is all of you that have the small businesses could use the same bookkeeper and it could conserve costs. So there are some really great things that you can do as a community, and it comes together by working through the established programs that are for your community, for your country, and for the area that you live in. Anyway, I'm going to put links in the show notes to the Ireland Small Business Administration and also the US Small Business Administration so that you can get in contact with just whoever's in charge of your country. But if you don't have a link to your Small Business Administration, I recommend that you Google it or whatever your search engine is and find out, because there are active small business groups that are all over the globe. And they're very helpful to the entrepreneurs because they want to promote new commerce. Anyway, very exciting. I'm super excited for you. Please keep me posted on how this goes for you. All right, until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.